Please remain standing for our national anthem and our alma mater as performed by the Riverside choir members.
Students, you may be seated. Hello everyone, and welcome to Riverside High School's Class of 2019 graduation ceremony. My name is Mary Shantery, and I am class president. Thank you to the vice presidents, Maddie Tanner, Kevin Bogdansky, and Bobby Sotok, for a very successful year. I would like to begin by acknowledging what an honor it has been to be president of this class. Speaking on their behalf makes me beam. I am proud of everyone on this stage. Not only is every student here receiving a high school diploma, but some are also receiving a diploma for taking College Credit Plus courses in high school. Congratulations to our foreign exchange students who have joined us this year. Georgia from Scotland, Kendra from Brazil, and Kat from Thailand. Also, Farrah from Palestine. I would like to recognize the students who are making the brave decision to serve in the military. Thank you to Brendan Davis, Tyler Lanning, Anita Diaz, who will serve in the Marines. Brenna Gullett, Marky McElroy, and Oscar Rocha Perez will serve in the Navy. Sean Tully will serve in the Air Force, and Matt Hawk will serve in the Coast Guard. If everyone could please give these students a round of applause. Thank you for your service. Congratulations to the 3 teachers who will be retiring this year. Mrs. Beesman, Mrs. Gagan, and Mrs. Bartholomew. Mrs. Bartholomew, go ahead, you can come. Sorry. Mrs. Bartholomew recently took on the role of being the NHS advisor this year. She has done a wonderful job making every student that has been inducted into NHS learn the true meaning. Mrs. Bartholomew cares about every student individually and pushes us to do our best and more. Without her, I think a lot of us would have never realized that we can do so much for each other, our school, and our community. She is loved in our Riverside family and will always be a part of our school and our community. Thank you to my parents and all the parents of our students. Thank you for every packed lunch, every ride to school, and every game or event you showed up to. High school is supposed to be a time where we learn, grow, and have fun. With our parents being there for us, we were able to make the best of our high school experience. Mrs. Lucas and Mrs. McIntyre deserve a thank you as well. They made sure our high school experience was one to remember, especially our senior year. They go above and beyond. Without them, high school would not have been the same for us students. Thank you to the both of you for all that you do. This is a special quote I took from a song. I always knew this day would come, where we'd be standing one by one, with our future in our hands, so many dreams, so many plans. I always knew after all these years, there'd be laughter, there'd be tears. Never thought I'd walk away with so much joy and so much pain. I am so thankful for these moments, so glad I got to know you. This is indeed a quote from Hannah Montana. The reason I use this is because it's not only relatable to our class and the relationships that we have built over the years, but we also grew up in the generation where the show was always on. And now I would like to introduce our campus principal, Mr. Hliatzos.
Thank you, Mary. I'm very honored to be here with everyone tonight on our joyous occasion of our 67th commencement honoring the class of 2019. To the families, friends, staff members, members of the Board of Education, Central Office administrators, honored guests, thank you all for coming and sharing in this joyous occasion. Commencement has long been a standing tradition that has always been and continues to be a time to relish feelings of satisfaction and a sense of accomplishment, not only for the graduating students, but also for their families and friends, their teachers, and all who have nurtured and mentored them in preparation for this day, a day for which all of you here should be very proud. We are honored to have 4 valedictorians and 1 salutatorian for the class of 2019. It is my pleasure to introduce our first speaker, our salutatorian, Brock Schafer. Brock is a son of Buzz and Carrie Schafer, and is planning on attending Lake Erie College to major in biology on a pre-med concentration. Brock?
First, I would like to start off by saying thank you to our parents, siblings, friends, and the faculty for all your support along the way. I would also like to extend a special thank you to my family for all that you've done for me. Today marks a turning point in all our lives as we have achieved a great milestone. We have learned, laughed, made memories, and grown up together. But today also marks the end of an era. We're moving on. As appealing as graduation has seemed, I've never liked endings. But as we are leaving high school, I realized that part of the journey is the end. Graduation gives our time at Riverside meaning. It tells us our time is limited and we need to make the most of it in the present. Going forward, remember to appreciate life and enjoy the moment. We spend so much of our lives rushing from one thing to the next that in doing so, we often miss the things that matter. Today is also about looking forward to the future. People sometimes say that high school is the best 4 years of their lives, but there is so much more to life ahead for all of us. I want to encourage everyone to go beyond these 4 years of high school and do bigger and better things. Never settle for having your best behind you. Some of us may be here today wondering how our lives will turn out. It's important to realize that our future does not just happen to us, it is up to us to create it. Keep in mind that success looks different for everyone. We can't always be the best, and that's okay. Success is not being better than everyone else, it's being the best you can be. Have a plan for what you want to do and never let anyone hold you back from achieving your best. Negative people or hurtful comments shouldn't get in your way. If I let negativity get in my way, I wouldn't be here today. I've had my fair share of negativity surrounding my educational career, but I looked beyond that to pursue my goals. I learned that you should do what makes you happy, and that is success. When I think of my future, I'm excited. While the road ahead may not always be easy, I know it will be worth it. Congratulations and best of luck to every one of you. Don't look back, class of 2019. Look forward. The best is yet to come. Thank you.
Our next speaker is one of our valedictorians, Daniel Smith. Daniel is the son of Robert and Doris Smith and is planning on attending The Ohio State University to major in chemical engineering. Daniel?
While this is a day full of remembrance and celebration, it would be a lie to say I'm excited to leave everything behind. Today is the last day that we can call ourselves students of Riverside High School, and with that, all of the memories we have made will become just that, memories. In the coming months, as we prepare for college, the workforce, or the military, it is important that we reflect on all the good Riverside High School has done for us. From the time we entered Riverside 4 years ago until now, the administrators, teachers, and anyone else who has had a role in the school have all put forth extra effort to make sure our education and experiences have been nothing short of exceptional. All of my teachers, especially those that I had for multiple years, have shown a true desire to educate and help students grow. With all of the talented and motivated people working for this school, there is no doubt in my mind that Riverside will continue to grow and become better than ever. These past years have gone by in a blink of an eye, but I will never forget the memories and friends that I have made. I am proud to say that this past year I was able to etch my name in Riverside athletics history by being a part of the team that won the first playoff football game in our school's history. However, it wasn't just making history with some of my best friends that made this memory so special, but seeing the outpour of support from the Riverside community helped me realize the love that I have for this school. And lastly, to my fellow students, as we move forward with our lives and make new friends or pursue different goals, may we approach every problem with the same energy and enthusiasm as we do currently. Each one of us came to Riverside for a different reason, and as the sign on the wall above the main entrance says, when you leave here, don't forget why you came.
Thank you, Daniel. Our next speaker is Kyle Silver, who is also one of our valedictorians. Kyle is the son of Randy and Noriko Silver and is also planning on attending The Ohio State University to major in chemical engineering. Kyle?
Abraham Lincoln once said, "Good things come to those who wait," which is why I waited to the very last minute to write the speech. And don't worry, I know there's a lot of us speaking today, so I kept it short. Good afternoon, everyone. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Kyle. And for those of you that do, you're welcome for all of the AP Chem and Physics homework. Now, this is a class to remember. In the 4 short years that we've been here, we've managed to accomplish some pretty incredible things, both in and out of the classroom. We've had multiple state contestants across several different sports, a student who received a perfect score on the ACT, and for the first time in years, a football team that actually won a playoff game. So, class of 2019, if you're sitting here wondering how your life is going to turn out after you leave this room, at least you can say you peaked in high school. But in all seriousness, we've already proven our potential. And going forward, I wish every single one of you the very best of luck, and I can't wait to see the amazing things that we all do. Thank you.
Thank you, Cal. Our next speaker is also one of our valedictorians, Mackenzie Meldrum. Mackenzie is a daughter of Daniel and Christine Meldrum and is planning on attending Georgia Tech to major in environmental engineering. Mackenzie, sorry.
All right. Okay, so a couple years ago, my dad took my family and I to his old hometown in Pequag, New York. And it's funny because this town is in the middle of nowhere, so nothing changed over the course of 3 decades. And it was cool because I could see how my dad lived 30 years ago, pretty much. These last couple weeks, I've recollected back to that trip, and it had me thinking about how different Painesville is compared to Pequag. Over the course of our time at Riverside, we've been a part of a transformation that will leave future generations with not only a whole new culture, but new buildings too. In 30 years, when it's our turn to whisk our kids into a minivan and take them on a tour of our old stomping grounds, it's likely that few of those buildings will be standing, and most of our beloved teachers will have moved on, and our friends won't live here anymore. All of this will just be memories. So much of our future will be about the changes it brings. I know a lot of you, including myself, are eager to move on with this next chapter. But before we do, we need to cherish the past. We need to cherish the memories of walking down those Riverside hallways, gazing at those stunning art tiles, or laughing with our friends. We need to cherish the late nights, the early mornings, the blood, sweat, and tears it took to reach this stage. And most importantly, we need to cherish the fact that we, the class of 2019, are sitting together one last time before we go our separate ways. Take this time to close your eyes and think of at least one person who made your high school days worth remembering, worth cherishing. I think of my teachers, my music instructors, and my coaches who showed patience and had faith in my potential. I think of my fellow valedictorian, Zach Leopold, who was my partner in crime throughout my academic career. And of course, I think of my family, who offered nothing but unconditional love and support. I thank you all from the bottom of my heart. Our lives will be determined by a whirlwind of milestones like going to college, buying a house, and maybe even marrying the love of your life. But what's the purpose if we can't relish the present and pass our experience onto future generations, onto our children? What's the meaning if we can't look back one day and smile at how far we've come? Moving forward, I challenge everyone in this room to look toward the future, but live in the present. It won't be easy, but it will be worth it in the end. Class of 19, best of luck.
Thank you, Mackenzie. Our final speaker is also one of our valedictorians, Zach Leopold. Zach is the son of Mark and Allison Leopold and is planning on attending the University of Alabama and is deciding on majoring in either marine science and biology or physics and astronomy. Zach?
Thank you. Howdy, folks. You've probably noticed by now that there's a quartet of valedictorians this year. I'm not sure if that means the class of 19 is just 4 times as intelligent and suave as your run-of-the-mill crop of Riverside grads, or if they had to smush all 4 of us together to make someone qualified enough, or honestly, if they just needed to fill space in the programs. I don't know. I'm hoping for the first one. But whatever the reason, as a byproduct, I'm allotted 2 minutes for my spiel, and I've already eaten up about 35 seconds, so I better get going. 2 minutes total. 2 minutes to reflect and unwind with 339 of my closest friends. 2 minutes to thank the cadre of tireless, inspirational teachers from whom I've been blessed to learn these 4 years, and of course the rest of them. And 2 minutes to share with you a haiku I wrote summing up one of our class's great achievements. Please count the syllables with me. Riverside football. It took you a real long time, but thanks for the dub. Thank you. Thank you. 2 minutes to thank my parents for pushing me but trusting me, for my Grammy and Grandpops for making their house a second home, to my sister Rachel, my role model, my incredible girlfriend, who was one of the other valedictorians, and you were to guess which one, for some good times, and my little twin brothers Aiden and Andrew for making me absolutely certain that one day you'll be giving this very same speech at your own graduation, but no pressure. 2 minutes to look around this packed hall and think, wow, I'm really glad I went to school here. Well, I mean, not here, but you know what I mean. Because I see looking back at me musicians and football players and artists and class pranksters and actors and hallway decorators and cheerleaders, and Luke is waving at me over there, and track stars and photographers and basketballers and tennis champions and everyone in between. But much more importantly than that, I see people who did more than one of those things, oftentimes many, and that's really cool. And I only have 2 minutes to tell you that that's what made my high school experience unforgettable. And that's what I'll miss about Riverside, is the people who weren't too apprehensive, too judgmental, or just too darn lazy to give themselves to more than one pursuit and to do it wholeheartedly and with good spirit. I just have 2 minutes to look around at many people who I will never see again, and hopefully many more who I will, and say something wise and inspirational and something to take with you for the rest of your lives. And I would do that, but if anyone else is keeping track, I'm at about 2:45, so I'll have to settle with thank you, God bless you, and good luck. Thank you.
Thank you, Zach, and thank you to all of our speakers. At this time, we will be presenting our scholarships. It is my pleasure to recognize the recipients of a number of local scholarships that will be presented to the members of the Riverside High School graduating class of 2019. These awards are made possible through the generosity and kindness of a number of individuals, families, and organizations who have a long history with the Riverside Local School District. Specific information about each scholarship is available in the latter portion of your program and will be available under the senior section of the Riverside High School webpage later this week. Graduates, as I call your name, please come forward to form a line across the front of the stage here. That list includes Allie Binkowitz, Bailey Brainerd, Nicole D'Antonio, Riley Ellersich, Olivia Farina, Logan Frank, Marco Grassi, Cody Hayduk, Ryan Knuff, Nathan Lemos, Zachary Leopold, Alexa Mateka, Brooke Mesnerich, Emily O'Neill, Caden Rice, Alexander Rovnak, Mary Shantery, Kyle Silver, Nathan Sivak, and Caleb Tinner. Now to the recipients. As the awards are announced, please step forward to be recognized and to receive your award from the presenter, and then please step back in line until all presentations have been made. We will start with the Henry F. Lamuth Memorial Scholarship presented by Mr. Dave Enzera. And the recipient is Kyle Silver. The George E. Insko Jr. Memorial Scholarship presented by Mr. Doug Insko. And the recipient is Riley Ellersich. The John J. Weiss Scholarship presented by Mr. John J. Weiss. And the recipients are Emily O'Neill and Nathan Sivak. The RLEA Teachers Memorial Scholarship presented by Mr. Ken Huffman. And the recipients are Allie Binkowitz, Noel D'Antonio, Olivia Farina, Ryan Knuff, Zachary Leopold, Alex Mateka, Caden Rice, Mary Shantery, and Caleb Tinner. The Christina Hillier Memorial Scholarship presented by Mr. Martin Hillier. And the recipient is Logan Frank. The Dr. Mary Allen Porter Memorial Scholarship presented by Ms. Lauren Perch. And the recipient is Ryan Knuff. The Joanne McDaniel Memorial Scholarship presented by Mr. Joshua McDaniel. And the recipient is Marco Grassi. Mr. McDaniel could not be here with us, so the scholarship is being presented by Mr. Bayless. Thank you, Mr. Bayless. The Janice R. Wunderlich Scholarship presented by Mrs. Janice Wunderlich. And the recipient is Zachary Leopold. The David R. Baker Memorial Scholarship presented by Miss Mia Eckliff. And the recipients are Riley Ellersich and Alexander Rovnak. The Lawrence Land Memorial Scholarship presented by Mrs. Nancy Land. And the recipient is Brooke Mesnerich. The Riverside High School Alumni Association Scholarship presented by Mr. Tom Trombley. And the recipients are Bailey Brainerd, Nathan Lemos, Alexa Mateka and Alexander Rovnak. The David W. Shaner Memorial Scholarship presented by Mrs. Mary Jane Watson. And the recipient is Brooke Mesnerich. The Riverside RBI Club Scholarship presented by Mr. Scott Bayless. And the recipient is Cody Hayduk. The Melissa Fankbonner Memorial Scholarship presented by Josh, Justin, and Mr. Jason Fankbonner. And the recipient is Ryan Knuff. On behalf of the Riverside Local Board of Education, we would like to congratulate all of our recipients and thank our presenters for their kindness and generosity in making these awards possible. Thank you. I now have the distinct honor and privilege to introduce our commencement speaker, Mr. Al Raddatz, a 1989 graduate of Riverside High School. Known to Sarge to all, from 1990 through 1998, he served as a United States Marine Corps sergeant and is also a veteran of Operation Restore Hope, which took place in Somalia. Mr. Raddatz also spent 21 years in the IT department at Progressive Insurance. In 2008, he founded the Sub-Zero Mission. The Sub-Zero Mission helps homeless people stay warm during the winter months by providing hats, coats, gloves, boots, sleeping bags, new socks, tents, and other warming items. They believe that nobody should freeze to death in America. The group also concentrates on finding veterans who make up a high percentage of homeless. The volunteers carry special laminated cards with contact information in order to get the veterans the special help that is available to them. Sarge has been married to his wife Barb for 28 years, and they have 2 children, a 23-year-old son, Shane, who is a member of the United States Marine Corps, and a daughter, KJ, who is 20 years of age and enrolled at Baldwin Wallace University. Please help me welcome to the stage Mr. Al Raddatz.
After party. I'll see you at the after party. A funny story before I get started here. It was a couple weeks ago. I had finished writing my speech. I had practiced it a couple times in the mirror. I had pictured you all naked the way we're supposed to. I thought I was ready. I was feeling really good about it. And then I started flipping through the channels, and I saw that Mr. Robert Smith, the billionaire, had reached out to his graduating class at the commencement speech at Morehouse College and offered to pay off all their college debt. And I thought, that's a mighty high bar. So I thought I would set expectations at the beginning of the speech. I really, really, really hope that you like the speech, but I'm not paying for any of their college. I'm just throwing that out there for you right at the beginning. My name is Al Raddatz. I'm a 1989 graduate of Riverside High School. To the Riverside class of 2019, the parents, the faculty, all the friends and family present, congratulations. I say this to all of you because graduation from high school is a team effort. It starts many years ago with goodnight stories, teaching colors and shapes, the alphabet, numerous drop-offs, pickups, sports, concerts, jobs, schedules, homework, and so many things that no one person can do alone. You guys didn't do it alone, did you? I have the feeling that when some of you saw the details for today's ceremony, you looked at my name and you thought, who's this guy that's going to be speaking? And worse, as you can tell, there's a few people out there that know me, and they're wondering, why am I the guy that's speaking? I thank you all for having me and for this opportunity to speak to your class. 10 years ago, with a friend of mine, another Riverside graduate from 1988, Del Bethel, we founded a local charity some of you guys have heard about and supported called the Sub-Zero Mission. Thank you. Thank you. We collect coats, hats, boots, gloves, and sleeping bags. We call those our Stay Alive 5. And we go out at night under bridges and into the woods and down into the alleys, and we find the homeless that don't make it into shelters. We help everybody that we find, but we're looking for this unbelievable number of 47,000 veterans who live among them. For them, we try to bring them to the services that they have earned for serving us. We started with a single delivery to a veteran who was living under the Main Street Bridge in Paynesville. Over time, we grew. In our decade of service since, we have now served in 30 cities and 5 states. This past winter season, we had a fantastic reach. In all, we served 1,600 people. We handed out over 12,500 warming items. We directly helped 5 veterans get off the street permanently, and our indirect involvement helped speed up the housing of several others. Thank you. In the 10 years that we've been in existence, and with the help of many people that are in here today, we've raised over $1.2 million in funds, and we've distributed nearly 100,000 warming items to people. Most importantly, we do this in a nearly total volunteer model. Our group is made up mostly of people from little old Riverside High School. Our entire board, plus at least 20 of our volunteers, are from right here, well, right there. They've helped make a difference, and many of you young adults will too. It tells you something about the type of people that Riverside High School produces. It was nearly a year ago that Principal Hliatzos and Superintendent Kalis visited me in my office to ask if I would speak here today, and I felt several emotions. Concern, do I have a message that's worthy of this commencement? Confusion, do these guys know who they're handing the mic to? I mean, nobody ever did it when I went to Riverside. Do they know that back when John R. Williams and Riverside used to have a space between them, that my friends and I would send one person out to their car to set off the car alarm or somehow to get the part-time safety officer to go towards them, while the rest of us would go in the other direction to our car, strategically parked near the exit on the opposite end? And finally, I had to admit to a little fear. My wife asked me, "Are you a little nervous?" And I said no. I mean, I have 10 to 20 speaking engagements every year, and I haven't been scared to speak in front of other people since high school. And then I thought, oh my gosh, I got to talk in front of a bunch of high schoolers. So I am a little scared, please bear with me. Since then, I've really worked on this in my mind when I was driving or when I had a little downtime. What message did I need 30 years ago when I was graduating? I talked to my elders, other teachers, people who I respected. I did my best to implement their thoughts in my words today. I also reached out to my friends on social media and I asked a question: if you could go back in time and talk to yourself on graduation day, what advice would you give yourself? I received a lot of answers. Unfortunately, as I wrote them down, I became a little disheartened. They just didn't feel genuine or specific. Follow your dreams. Don't let anybody tell you that you can't. Be yourself. Second place is the first loser. Well, that was just my dad, always a source of motivation. The fact is that when I was your age, I wasn't hearing what somebody my age was saying to me. And if I was hearing it, it was because they were being honest with me and not talking to me like I was a little kid. What I needed was real advice, real words with real meaning. In some ways, it seems like it would be so easy. I've been a sergeant in the Marines, a team leader, a father, an uncle, and a coach. I should be able to use many of the motivational sayings, tough love, and anecdotes from those experiences to list off things that are both practical and said in a way that many of you might find useful. And I'm great with lists, so I started with that approach. 1, Work hard. 2, whatever you do, do it with passion or don't bother doing it at all. 3, be kind. It's not hard. 4, what you give energy to will grow, and that goes for things that are both good and bad for you. 5, when your enemy is making a mistake, don't interrupt them. This is easy. Lists rock. I love lists. Number 6, debt. Don't do it, no matter what. And if you must, get it paid off as quickly as possible. It will haunt you. 7, time and health are the only things that really matter. Take care of where you give your time and always take care of yourself. See, real things, practical things, things I know you guys need to hear, like this next one. Number 8, don't eat Tide Pods. What the hell was that all about? I didn't think I had to write that one down for you. And that got me thinking, when I was 18, we didn't even have Tide Pods. This was never a problem for us. And so I started thinking maybe my learnings were not relevant. Are the challenges that young adults face today the same as what we faced in the 80s and 90s? I mean, in the 80s, we had the fear of AIDS, world hunger, apartheid in Africa, the Cold War with Russia. Rolling Stones were on their final tour. We had Jordan, now there's LeBron. In the 80s, swipe right was something you did with your card when you were out on a date. Now it's something you do to actually get a date. I hear, honey, I don't know this. In the 80s, Bill Cosby and O.J. Simpson were stars. Donald Trump was some really rich guy who everybody wanted to be like someday. So many things are different. Cigarettes no longer need fire. You can talk to somebody without even having their phone number, find out who someone is just by looking up their @ become famous by posting pictures or videos on social media. You could order anything you ever need just by going online and it magically appears on your porch the next day. Young adults find easier ways to do everything. I had to learn a whole new language as a parent. LOL, laugh out loud, SMH, shaking my head, RN, right now. I try to stay current. I asked my daughter to review my speech this week. I texted her for her thoughts the other day, and she texted back, "Dad, it's a little long." Most of the graduates are really just going to want you to STFU and GTFO the stage so they can get their diplomas and go. I'm going to need to look a few of those up. So many things are the same. We see many of the movies I loved as a teenager being remade. Red Dawn was remade. Beetlejuice is being remade. The movie It was remade. They're even doing a sequel to Top Gun. Rolling Stones are back on tour. Since I graduated, we have, as a country, have taken strides to improve the world. For good or bad, we are more connected than ever before. When I was 18, we had never had a president who was not white. We have now had not only a black president, but an orange one too. We had to actually do our own math. We were told that we wouldn't always have a calculator with us. So knowing that while there were new problems unique to today's young adults, many were flavors of the same old problems we had in 1989. There's also some things that my generation needs to work a little bit harder to understand. This generation is directly confronting questions around racism, globalism, populism, gender roles, and identities. The closest that we even came to talking about something like that was probably the cover of Poison's first album. In the end, after looking at my note cards, I settled on some themes I wanted to cover. Define yourself. A successful businessman who I respect told me a story about himself in school. To my disbelief, his teachers and classmates thought he was slow. He was even held back a year in junior high school. Another friend told me about his uncle being told by a foreman that he was not cut out for the career he had chosen. Later, his uncle opened his own business in the same field, and one day had to turn that foreman away for a job. In my own life, I've had people tell me often who they think I am and where they thought I would end up. and some of it is not very flattering. There's a game that life plays that makes you think you're everything they say you are, but don't. Use it as motivation. You see, you have the ability to define yourself, and you can constantly recreate yourself, and here's why. Only you can make you, and only you know you, and you have many sides, some sides that only you know, all your secrets, all your experiences, all your values, motivations, and beliefs. Everybody else sees some other version based on their own perspective. You often hear perception is reality. It's not necessarily true. Perception is that person's reality. Reality, like a pyramid, is dependent on what side of you that you are showing them and where they're viewing you from. From a single vantage point, nobody sees the full shape, and that's the same with you. Your experiences and beliefs will define you despite what others say. Choose experiences that will build the best version of you, but don't be afraid to take chances and have fun. A funny story regarding personal experiences and how they serve you. In the Marines, you have grunts, the guys who do most of the fighting, air wingers who work on the planes and helicopters, and admin guys who they call pogues. I was a pogue. We all dog each other in good fun. Once in corporal school, an instructor asked if anybody had any combat experience or experience forming a plan and executing it. The grunts had a good time nominating me to answer, thinking there was no way this pogue knew anything. But I did have something. So I told him about escaping from Riverside. The instructor loved it. He even had me draw on the board the layout of the schools to include the spot where Larry, the part-time safety officer, usually was. In fact, he said, "That is an outstanding example of using a diversionary tactic, observation points, signaling, using your rifle team to perform a flanking maneuver to the standby vehicle and path of egress. Nice job, Pogue." And so my own experience had served me. My point is, only you are uniquely you, and nobody can tell you who you are or what you can or cannot accomplish. Only you know. And your experiences not only define you, but serve you too. And always remember, it isn't where you start, it's where you finish. Live your dreams, not your parents' dreams for you, and don't make your kids live yours. Setting goals and working hard to achieve them. Recently, I was watching a series about the Mars mission that's to take place in the 2030s. It toggles back and forth between a fictional future crew and real interviews and footage from now as we try to take small steps towards landing on the planet and eventually inhabiting it. Everything from the basics of launching to deep space travel, landing, staging things in place before people get there, logistics of long-term habitation all has to be imagined, planned for, and tested. It made me think about how little I knew when I was 18 and how little I had planned. It's probably why the lyrics from Pink Floyd's Time stick with me. And then one day you find 10 years have got behind you. No one told you when to run. You missed the starting gun. Pow! I'm here to tell you, today is that day. Your life begins today. For a second, close your eyes. Picture yourself in 2030. Where are you? What do you do for money? What do you do for food? Do you have a family? Now, ask yourself, how do I get there? You'll probably find that you put some things in order first. Let's see, to have that job, I need such and such training, or this or that degree. To have that position, I need to work X amount of time and get some experience. To have that family, I have to date and meet people, and I have to be financially ready, etc. These are goals, and goals should be written down. Short term, 1 day, weekly, monthly, and so on. I do it, and I put check boxes by them. I love lists, and I love check boxes. And like the Mars mission, you have to use what you already know, imagine some of the future needs will be, and you have to reassess, you have to fail, you have to try over and over again, and you have to work and work and work to achieve those goals. Here are some things regarding hard work and goal setting that I've learned. The difference is in the doing. Have the idea, set the goal, and do it. I can't tell you how many great ideas I had along the way that I wish I had acted on. Don't create so many goals that you can't get them done. It's better to finish 100% of one thing than 1% of 100 things. Be an A in 5 things and not a D- in 20. The football player J.J. Watt recently said in an interview that I watched, "Success isn't owned, it's leased, and rent is due every single day." Practice your craft. No, don't just practice it perfectly. Partner with a diverse group of people, but they've got to be as dedicated as you are. And know that no matter how good the plan, how much you practice, and how determined you are, you still need luck and a million things to bounce your way. Pursue that plan anyway. Try to balance your goals in favor of needs over wants, because there's a difference. My team and I see it often when we're out doing our job. When we go to camps or we find a person sleeping on a steam grate, they will never ask us for a particular color of hat or type of gloves, and that's because they have none, they're outdoors, and they need these items. When we go to help at shelters, we often hear, "I want the blue hat," or "Can I have the leather coat?" And that's because they're sheltered and they don't actually need the items that we have. If your goals are aligned heavily towards real needs, you will rarely want for more. This said, both sets of homeless hand us back Steelers coats and hats. Nobody needs or wants that junk. Larry Harpster, I feel you pulling back from me right now. I feel a lot of you pulling back. Managing adversity and dealing with failure. Do not be afraid of failure. Failure is the world's best teacher. If I told you how many times in my life I have failed, you would demand that I immediately leave this stage. Because no person with a history of failure like mine should ever be giving anybody advice. But you see, I'm no different than you. Well, except you valedictorians and salutatorian. I've never been anything like you guys. You're going to find that while school gives you a lot of experiences, it can never fully prepare you for what you're going to see from today forward. And that's because in school, you're taught a lesson and then you're tested. In life, you're tested, and that test teaches you that lesson. The fact is, life is going to knock you to your knees at times. If you haven't already, you will lose somebody, sometimes in a prepared way, sometimes quickly and without warning. Not to be a downer, but take a good look around this room. It's the last time that every person that's in this room today will be together like this again, and that's part of life. And even though you work hard, you plan well, you set goals, etc., you may still fail, or things might not happen in the order that you expected. That's also part of life. And for no reason that you can understand, people will talk bad about you. They'll block your goals and generally work against you. You've seen it. Have you ever tried to change lanes and for no reason another car speeds up just to prevent you from it? It's part of life. Adversity is part of life. It's not what happens to you, though. It is always how you respond to it. After all, is there a difference between the word failing and the word failure? I think there is. Failing is something that's happening. A failure is somebody who has allowed failing to define who they are. I've always found that when I set my goals, I set them high, because when adversity hits and I come up short, it's still okay. I heard in a song called Closing Time, "Every new beginning comes from another beginning's end." I love that lyric because it talks about making opportunity where it did not seem possible. I also like the lyric by the Eagles, "So oftentimes it happens that we live our lives in chains and we never even know we have the key." It tells me we have the power to free ourselves and overcome that adversity. Believe in something. Believing in something, anything, will keep you going when all else has failed and everybody has failed you. And when I say believe in something, I mean anything. Believe in God, believe in fate, believe in your cause, believe in yourself, believe in your team, but believe in something. I'm not the most profoundly religious person you will ever meet, and I rarely talk about God, certainly not to a big room full of strangers like this. But I have seen God's work around me and in my own life. Every door I've needed to open for the Sub-Zero mission has opened each and every time we needed it to. In fact, here's a funny story. When we originally delivered to the homeless, we would use my SUV. One time we got pushed by a large number of homeless people against the vehicle as they tried to grab for items in the cargo area. It was a little scary, so we started to look for something that we could more safely deliver items in. An ice cream truck was our first idea. One person could drive, one person could hand stuff out the side. As it would happen, there was a local businessman who had heard of our needs, and he had an old bus that he had actually purchased from Riverside High School. He had bought it to be a Browns tailgating truck, but the Browns were so awful for so long that he instead sold his season tickets and donated that bus to us. And that bus totally changed the way we were able to do our jobs. We could carry more things, and we could carry more people to help us. So if you ever wondered how a team could suck for so long, well, you can thank me and you can thank God, because we needed that darn bus. No, it was all not for nothing. Now come on, Baker, and lead us to the promised land. And where you may or may not believe in God, you still have to allow for fate. My wife and I have talked many times about if I'm standing any place else but at the bottom of the steps she came down when we first met, our entire lives would be different. Some people believe that everything is by fate. Some people believe it is all random or by accident. Some people believe that there is no fate but what you make. In the end, they believe in something, and that keeps them going forward. A person who is hungry should be fed. A person who is cold should be clothed. And a person who has served their country should never be homeless. So I set my life to ensuring the word homeless is not used to describe a veteran, not so long as I live and breathe and can find them. Those beliefs are what drive me. You need to believe in something. Serving and inspiring others. Unfortunately, even in our great country, and I do believe it's great, people and issues fall through the cracks. No matter how bad your life is, there's always somebody who has it a little bit worse. There are people who need constant care and attention and not enough people to help them, or not enough funds. There's honor in service, and your character will be revealed in helping those who may not ever be able to repay you. In our modern world, we often hear the term, "What would Jesus do?" But it's better to understand, why would he do it? Understanding that there's a difference between knowing the path and walking the path will help you in serving others. And once you are walking the path, how do you get others to help? Because to inspire is to lead. President Eisenhower once said, "Leadership is the art of getting someone else to do something you want done because he wants to do it." I was blessed with a group of good people who believe in our cause. And I learned that old song that I sang in church as a kid really did have meaning. It only takes a spark to get a fire going. At work and in the military, you have rank, position, perceived power, and the threat of punishment or the promise of reward to get things done. In charity, you only have your own ability to inspire, influence, and lead to get that job done. That spark that we had after our first delivery has fanned the flames of what we call Blue Fire. In fact, last year my team donated over 5,000 volunteer hours to help people that have nothing more than a simple thank you to give in return. And our model has inspired the start of a partner team in Youngstown. In closing, I want to share with you a poem that has played a big part in my life. In the military, you are required to do a lot of reading. I first found this poem as part of required reading for sergeants, and I loved it. It's a poem by the great Shawnee Chief Tecumseh. A few years ago, it popped up in a movie called Act of Valor. I made it the creed of my delivery team, the Blue Coat Missionaries. It covers a lot of themes that I talked about today. I think you'll like it. It's called Live Your Life. So live your life that the fear of death can never enter your heart. Trouble no one about their religion. Respect others in their view and demand that they respect yours. Love your life, perfect your life, beautify all things in your life. Seek to make your life long and its purpose in the service of your people. Prepare a noble death song for the day when you go over the great divide. Always give a word or a sign of salute when meeting or passing a friend, even a stranger, when in a lonely place. Show respect to all people and grovel to none. When you arise in the morning, give thanks for the food and for the joy of living. If you see no reason for giving thanks, the fault lies only in yourself. Abuse no one and no thing, for abuse turns the wise ones to fools and robs the spirit of its vision. When it comes your time to die, be not like those whose hearts are filled with the fear of death, so that when their time comes, they weep and pray for a little more time to live their lives over again and in a different way. Sing your death song and die like a hero going home. This has been a great honor. Good luck in whatever and everything you do. Thank you again for having me.
Thank you, Mr. Raddatz. Those were very inspiring words to our graduates, and we thank you for being here. We're honored that you're part of the Riverside history, and we wish you continued success in your involvement in our community. Thank you once again. Before I begin with the presentation of the class, I would like to take a moment to recognize some groups in our audience today. First, I would like to recognize the parents of our graduates. Thank you for all that you have done in raising such fine young men and women, and for giving us the opportunity to work with your sons and daughters. It truly has been an honor and our pleasure. Would the parents of our graduates please stand and be recognized? Thank you. Second, I would like to recognize the alumni of Riverside High School. Thank you for setting the standard that each class strives for each year and for creating the legacy that each of our graduates will become a part of. Would the Riverside High School alumni members please stand and be recognized? Thank you. Next, I would like to recognize the Riverside Local Schools staff. This dedicated group of individuals consistently went above and beyond the call of duty to ensure that all of our graduates received a quality education. They have left lasting impressions on all of our graduates, and we all appreciate the hard work and devotion that was shown. Would the Riverside Local Schools staff please stand and be recognized? Thank you. As many of you already know, and it was mentioned earlier, we have 3 members of our staff who will be retiring this year. Mrs. Cindy Gagan, business teacher, Mrs. Amy Spiesman, math teacher, and Mrs. Becky Bartholomew, physical education teacher. Thank you to all of you for your many years of service to our district. You all have touched the lives of many students, and you will be missed. Good luck on your retirement. And now to our graduates. The moment you have been waiting for and dreaming about for many years has finally arrived. Over the past several years, you have worked very hard and studied, practiced, played, and grown mentally as well as physically. And now you are here, ready to begin your lives as members of the adult community. And looking back at all of your years in the Riverside schools, I'm sure you have many things that you will remember and cherish for the rest of your lives. After today, some of you may already have your futures mapped out. Some of you will go on to further your education at various colleges, universities, or technical schools. Others will decide to serve this great country of ours in one of the branches of the military, and still others will decide to join the workforce. Whatever it is that you decide to do, I'm confident that the education and life lessons you have received during your years in the Riverside schools will help you meet every challenge that will come your way and elevate you to prominent positions in our society. To the class of 2019, you truly were a special and talented group of individuals. Your class was gifted academically, artistically, and musically, and excelled athletically. The leadership you provided in the building was evident and much appreciated by all. The underclassmen all looked up to you. Your class was big in motivation, heart, and school spirit. We are going to miss seeing you every day and interacting with you every day, but couldn't be happier for you as you start this next chapter in your lives. The class of 2019 excelled academically as they produced numerous academic recognitions at the local, state, and national levels. This class also excelled in the arts by receiving multiple musical and artistic awards at local, regional, and state competitions. Our vocational students also excelled at Auburn Career Center and were recognized as top-performing students in their fields. Our athletes received multiple awards of distinction from the Western Reserve Conference and the Ohio High School Athletic Association. In a few short minutes, you will be coming up here to receive your diploma, bringing a close to your high school days, but beginning your days as Riverside High School alumni. Your legacy has been created. Thank you, congratulations, and good luck to the class of 2019. I would now like to present the class of 2019 to Dr. James Kalis, Superintendent, and confirm that this class has met all the requirements of the Riverside High School administration and faculty and the Ohio Department of Education and the Riverside Local Board of Education. Mr. Kalis.
Sarge, that wasn't 2 minutes. Mine is. Otherwise, we're going to need an intermission. Good afternoon. I'd like to welcome everyone, all our families and friends, to the special occasion. Graduates, you only graduate once, and I hope this is a very special day for all of you. Graduation is a milestone in your life, and I hope you come to appreciate this moment. A moment to reflect on all the accomplishments, hard work, determination, and preservation you have all experienced throughout your 13 years of compulsory education at Riverside. I'm certain at some point in the future you will look back at your days at high school with fond memories, whether it's the friendships you've made, the teachers you looked up to, the extracurricular activities you participated in, and the academic achievements you experienced, or even the events you shared with friends that you don't want mom and dad to know about. I believe that all of you have created a lifetime of memories that you'll never forget. It is my hope that the education you received at Riverside High School has successfully prepared you for the next chapter of your life. I know today is the day to celebrate, but I hope you will continue to work hard and not lose sight of your goals. Please continue to aim high while following your passion to create your own path to success. There is truly no limit to what each and every one of you can accomplish, and I have no doubt that all of you in this auditorium will make Riverside proud. My one request is that you stay in touch with us. Please do not lose sight of your roots. While I'm certain all of you will go on to bigger and better things throughout the world, Riverside will always be your home. I encourage you to join our Alumni Association so you can stay in touch with the school district and continue your support for the generations that follow you. As you move on to the next phase of your life, please continue to be our supporters, our volunteers, and our advocates. And lastly, be proud to carry on that Riverside pride with you wherever you go. On behalf of the Riverside Board of Education, its administrators, faculty, and staff, I would like to again congratulate you on your graduation and academic accomplishments thus far. It gives me great pleasure to introduce the Riverside High School class of 2019 to Riverside Local School District President, Mrs. Jennifer Harden.
Thank you, Mr. Kalis. On behalf of the Riverside Local Board of Education, I would like to congratulate you, our 2019 graduates. I promise not to take a lot of your time today because I know you're all ready to get your diplomas and be official graduates. I wondered if I should use a variation on the same speech that I have for the last few years, and I realize if you've been here before, it's likely you won't remember what I said. So here it goes, and it's very simple. As you leave today as high school graduates, I need you to remember one thing. That is that this journey and the next step of the journey which you are about to embark on, it isn't just about you. See, your family here, they're along for the ride as well. I recognize this every day in my own home. Next year, I'll have 2 children up at the campus and 1 at Lamouth, and this is all going so very fast. I'm quite sure your parents and the audience here can attest to that and still see you with your kindergarten backpack on, which is probably bigger than you. So how can you honor your family as you begin your path to the next step? And it's 2 simple things. The first is just to spend time with them. Say yes to a round of putt-putt this summer or a drive-in movie. Sometimes say yes, even when you want to say no. Last night, I convinced my older son, who's going to be a sophomore, to go to dinner with me. I was so happy, just he and I. It was so nice. As you make your next move, whether to workforce, to college, or the military, or you just don't know what your next move is exactly, think of your family often and allow them to be a part of your experience. If you're heading off to the military right away, and mom and dad, along with grandma and grandpa, want to take you to a family dinner, please go. When you go and set up that first dorm room, and your mom wants to put the sheets on your bed and rearrange the pictures, as annoyed as you might be, just let her. If you're getting your first apartment and your dad insists on looking at that leaky faucet, just let him do it. And listen, truly listen to the advice that your parents want to give you, because I promise we do know what we're talking about. Because let's please remember, these first things aren't only about you. It's the first time your parents are doing these things with you too, and they need to be a part of these moments. Whoever's been an important part of your life, they want to be with you too. Your graduation today, although exciting, is hard on those who love you for many reasons. And no matter what happens in the next few months, as your life changes and evolves, there will be one constant, and that is your loved ones. So respect them, love them, enjoy the moments with them, and create new memories. Because as the late Barbara Bush once said, at the end of your life, you will never regret not having passed one test, not winning one more verdict, or not closing one more deal. You'll regret the time not spent with a husband, a friend, or a child, or a parent. Thank you again, and congratulations, graduates.
Mary F. Shantery. Kevin James Bogdansky. Robert Leonard Sotak. Madeline Elizabeth Tanner. Mackenzie Lee Meldrum. Zachary Thomas Leopold. Kyle Kohei Silver. Daniel Robert Smith. Brock William Schafer. Bilal Ibn Abdusattar. Benjamin Ross Alden. Nathaniel Richard Alden. Alyssa Rose Alimo. Marcus Robert Allen. Joshua Lee Allman. Salvatore James Amato. Mackenzie Rose Arnold. Haley Michelle Atwell. Marissa Elise Averson. Garrett Anthony Batamy. Logan Michael Baker. Adrian Michael Baldessar. Dylan Allen Ball. Sierra Rose Bartlett. Michael Thomas Battaglia. Christopher Michael Bond. Sydney Catherine Beach. Lisel Becerra. Juliana Grace Becker. Jessica Valora Bentley. Joseph Bertino. Vanita Yasmin Balal. Allie Nicole Binkowitz. Antonio James Biondolillo. Nicholas George Blackburn. Skylar Megan Bless. Taylor M. Wojcicki. Alexandria Bowers. Jenna Noel Brady. Bailey Lucretia Brainerd. Andrew McCall Breach. Bailey Rose Brentar. Haley H. Buckner. Selena Mattia Burr. Antonio Callahan. Jacqueline Campos. Chase Andrew Cantrell. Summer Rose Cantrell. Benjamin Scott Capella. Caleb Richard Carafa. Dana Lynn Caruso. Ava Isabella Cavell. John Patrick Condon. Kylie Alexis Chambers. Alyssa Jade Chan. Serena Che Chandler. Mackenzie Nicole Clancy. Robert Bruce Clapp. Noah Seth Coley. Sean Burke Coley. Corey Allen Collins. Haley Jean Condon. Nicholas David Conway. Dylan Andrew Kumos. Justin Andrew Chrissy. Brandy Marie Lynn Cromwell. Cody Ray Krauser. Gabrielle Mackenzie Kyler. Noelle Grace D'Antonio. Thomas Davidson. Brendan Gabriel Davis. Kyle Jerome Dawson. Wayne Tony Deadwiley. Ethan Raymond Debelak. Jared Stephen Dangle. Sierra Ann Dent. Darian Marie Dick. Ian Michael Diffenbacher. Mitchell Scott Dillon. Megan Olivia Duggar. Justin Lawrence Dunnigan. Dylan Michael Dye. Mackenzie Marie Eckliff. Riley Madison Ellersich. Kennedy Aaron Ellison. Lauren Elizabeth Emmerman. Zachary John Andrew Emrisco. Justin Thomas Evans. Nicholas Edward Falero. Olivia Delaney Farina. Jared Ferrone. Tyler Allen Few. Julia Lynn Fleck. Elvia Jaramillo Flores. Madeline May Fortuna. Logan Michael Frank. Joshua Michael Frazier. Connor Joseph Fulkerson. Aubrey Nicole Fulmer. Nicholas Joseph Garmon. Kelly Marie Gillespie. Nino Glavis. Brianna Elizabeth Glowacki. Patrick Logan Gonzalez. Christine Elizabeth Gordos. Alexis Lynn Graham. Maya Rose Grandini. Zachary Richard Grandstaff. Marco R. Grassi. Brenna May Gullett. Noah Byron Gullett. Tomas Rafael Gutierrez. Matthew Connor Hawk. David Luke Hackney. Alexander James Haffa. Clay Hagee. Noah Michael Halladina. Maurice Edward Hamilton. Brooke Marie Hansel. Stephanie Ann Harpster. Philip Herbert Harris.
Francesca Rose Hedger. Cody James Hayduck. Sarah Eleanor Henning. Hunter Paul Hess. Dylan Vincent Hickman. Angelina Michelle Hillier. James Brian Hism. Kayla Lorraine Hobson. Kaylee Lorraine Hobson. Amir Kais O'Daly. Jalen Lamont Holloman. Brianna Marie Hostetler. Marissa June Hoth. Megan Alice Hughes. Dakota Alexis Hummel. Emily Jane Humphrey. Logan Matthew Ivory. Peyton Dane Jacutis. Amanda Rose Johansson. Madison Christine Johnson. Jenna Catherine Jones. Philip Joseph. Oscar Wache Garcia. Jonathan Alejandro Juarez Perez. Adrian Ray Jurek. Brittany Lynn Kelburn. Tyler Michael Kaput. Lauren Pearl Katona. Brianna Elizabeth Cato. Andrew Michael Keller. Jordan Aubrey King. Alexis Grace Kinney. Zachary Patrick Klimchek. Kobe Lyric Klotz. Stephen Joseph Knack. Mac Allen Knaus. Ryan David Knuff. Chase Patrick Kovach. Camille Nicole Kozlowski. Amanda Mackenzie Cray. Audrey Shauna Kruger. Cody William Krupa. Nathan Andrew Lemos. Tyler Ray Lanning. Aaron Michael Larkin. Jared Paul Lentz. Alyssa Marie Linder. Anna Elizabeth Lindros. Ruslana Zena Marie Loker. Justin Paul Luca. Aubrey Rowan Lowe. Larry John Lucas. Anthony Robert Lupica. Alexandra Nicole Lutz. Kaylin Dora Mahoney. Richard John Mahoney. Samuel Majoros. Jinnapuk Manisorn. Garrett Sean Marn. Charles Jacob Marshall. Emma May Martich. Alexa Lynn Mateka. Nicholas Joseph Maddock. Tara Nobly Maley. Jalen Trishan McCulley. Mark Anthony McElroy. Riley Dennis McFarland. Brittany Marie McSween. Amelia Eveline Mellon. Ariane Marie Melton. Taylor Ann Mendelera. Alex Michael Menega. Mary Caroline Merkel. Brooke Marie Mesnerich. Caitlin Lou Michaelis. Marissa Brooke McCulloch. Madeline Marie Miller. Kylie Paige Miskamim. Nicholas Stanley Malakar. Benjamin Makarski. Mari Matazuma. Madeline Lee Makwa. Ethan M. Moore. Keegan Sean Moore. Alyssa Mary Caitlin Morris. Kevin Alberto Marilla Arredondo. Margaret Flynn Myers. Joshua Paul Napier. Logan Philip Naples. Anna Jane Nabelski. Gage Brian Neely. Brian Edward Nick. Matthew James Neese. Emily Ann O'Neill. Umji O. Aaron Joseph Olick. Bailey Susan Osicki.
Colin Michael Pambianco. Kaylee Marie Parisi. Jonathan Peroff. Christopher Allen Parsons. Sahil R. Patel. Jack Lawrence Patton. Derek Charles Payne. Adam John Painter. Haley Nicole Pizzini. Ashley Elizabeth Perry. Seth Michael Pertz. Peter Isaiah Peterson. Caleb William Petty. Brianna Michelle Patine. Zachary Ellen Pfeiffer. Isaac Thomas Phillips. Megan Elizabeth Phillips. Shayna Marie Pierce. Andrew Stephen Polar. Alexander Timothy Pon. Kelsey Taylor Ponton. Stephen Alexander Potts. Aiden Alexander Priester. Kara Jane Ralston. Anna Christina Ramirez Palomino. Gracie May Renner. Jackson Drake Reuter. Hunter Thomas Ritchie. Caden Matthew Rice. Alexis Taylor Richards. Marlea Richardson. Kendra Mina Rickner. Noah Michael Reha. Dustin Garrett Roth. Megan Marie Roberto. Joseph Alexander Robinson IV. Tiana Marie Robinson. Oscar Manuel Rocha Perez. Alexander Lee Rovnak. Jonathan Wesley Royko. Anita Samai Saldana Diaz. Bilal Sohat Sohey. Kaylee Marie Saunders. Kaylin Marie Schultz. Dylan Scott Schweitzer. Graham Edward Scott. Michael James Secree. Hannah Lillian Sens. Matthew John Sivek. Henry Kenneth Schobert. Sydney Cole Short. Jordan Stephen Samodi. Mackenzie Scott Simpson. Nathan Christopher Sivek. Jordan Thomas Snyder. Madison Hope Sabanya. Caitlin May Sumrak. Frank Allen Sukup. Brooke Michaela Spalding. Jarek Patrick Spiesman. Colleen Ann Story. Matthew Philip Stropke. Sydney Madison Shulowski. Leah Elaine Technip. Michaela Jill Thompson. Noah Isaac Thompson. Nicholas Anthony Tilk. Caleb Scott Tinner. Natalie Ann Todd. Asan Dean Trosdell. Eris August Ciros. Danielle Pauline Tufts. Peyton Allie Turner. Ryan Thomas Turner. Brianna Rose Tarosi. McKenna Noel Tuttle. Nicole Ann Unterwagner. Jessica Morgan Urban. Samantha Josephine Urch. Logan Boyd Vache. Chad Van Pelt. Connor Michael Van Mael. Brandon Ray Varsi. Hannah May Vermilly. Jeffrey Matthew Vest. James Asher Victoroff. Noah Wade. Cole James Walker. Elissa Marie Walsh. Jalen Shanice Warren. Bailey Miranda Webster. Ryan Christopher Weiss. Quinn Allen Westman. Hunter Alderson Weston. Autumn Elise White. Brianna Nicole Whitehair. Joshua Allen Wilcox. Ashley Noel Wilkes. Michael Joseph Kenneth Wykowski. Theodore James Wolf. Keely Elise Woods. Dylan Bradley Woolidge. Madison Harlow Wright. Hope Ann Young. Mackenzie Marion Zeitz. Rebecca Irene Zarilla. Congratulations, class of 2019.
At this time, I would like to ask Mary Shantery, class president, to please come to the podium.
Okay, if all the students could please stand up. Okay, all my babies, we just did this. Turn your tassels.
Thank you and congratulations to the class of 2019.